Alright folks, the new Shimano cleats are here. This is the first Shimano SPD cleat redesign in 30 years. I've had the chance to play with them for the last week or so. So in this video, let's just talk about some real comparison between the new cleats called the CL-MT001 and the good old either SH56 multi-release or SH51 cleats that everybody gets when buying a new pedal from Shimano. And here's the deal, by the end of this video, I'm gonna make sure that I give you guys my 2 cents on which cleats you should consider depending on how long you've been clipped in and whether you just started to even think about clipless pedals. So let's get to it. The SPD, or Shimano Pedaling Dynamics, is a pedal system that was introduced in 1990 pretty much for off-road use. Now fast forward to 1995 and that's when they started using this SH51 cleat that has been unchanged for 30 years up until now when the new guy came to be. And on the box they come in, you're gonna see the promise from Shimano: multiple entry, single release type of cleat. And in layman's terms, that means clipping onto the pedals and unclipping from the SPD pedals. And with those clip-on-clip features, Shimano's giving us 3 different SPD cleats today. This is the oldest one, SH51, that's single release. It's black originally, it comes in with every pedal. The one that's been around for quite a while is SH56. This is a multi-release cleat. You see the letter M stamped on it. This is the newest one, the MT001. It has that line going through it here at the bottom. And the huge difference, or the only difference between the 3 is right here at the tip. Take a look at this pointed tip of the old ones. So 51, 56, and this is the MT001. So this tapered tip is supposed to allow us to clip in easier and also allows us to go either toe first or heel first and clip in, or just stomp on the pedal. I have tried this on both race SPD pedals and the trail, more platform SPD pedals from Shimano. And if there is a difference in clipping in, I would say that is quite subtle. You still have to be quite precise, literally lining up your cleat with the actual SPD mechanism. Again, if there is a difference, I would call it subtle, and if it improves the experience somewhat, is definitely welcome. This same MT001 does not change the release mechanism of your foot in any way. So you're still gonna have to twist your foot to release your cleat from the pedal. Yes, the hold is pretty strong, but that would be very similar to the experience if you were running an SH51, which is a single release and single entry, if you want to call it that. SH56, which is called the multi-release, is the only one that's a bit different than the other 2. The clip-in is a very similar experience with SH51, so toe first and then clip in. However, the SH56 would allow your cleat to release in multiple ways. You can pull up, you can pull sideways, you can twist like you usually do with any other SPD cleat, and these SH56 cleats will let you bail out. Now, one other thing that the MT001 suggest is that you don't touch the ground as much with the new cleats. I walked around and I noticed the same amount of noise with these cleats. And if you look here at the bottom of my shoe, you can see that these don't look much different from the other cleats that I had before. So that might be just a little bit of marketing and not much else. When it comes to installation of these cleats, this is a simple 2-bolt system. If you were to replace existing cleats with this, just remove the 2 bolts. I would line up the new cleat pretty much where the old one was. And when installing these 2 bolts, alternate the tightening between one and the other. And 2, make sure you put a little bit of Loctite on those bolts. There's no Loctite on them by default right now. And finally, what I promised you at the beginning, which cleats are for what type of rider? Or here's my 2 cents, guys. If you're just getting into this, get the SH56, don't think twice. That cleat allows you to remove your foot very easily from the pedal in multiple ways, and the added bonus is that you have the shoe on the pedal always in the same spot, so you find your balance, your foot is not going to slip off the pedal that easily. So highly recommend it for newbies. If you've been clipped in for a while, next time you change your cleats, by all means, just go for the MT001, $29 Canadian on the Shimano site. Again, there's nothing different on the pedals themselves. However, the new cleats are going to allow you to clip in a bit easier. Once in a while, might be specific situations where you're going to notice that. And what can I say? Otherwise, I think I'm going to move to this as the time goes by. I'm going to use up all the SH51s and SH56s that I still have in the house. I am curious what you guys are going to decide to do. If you did this before my video or right after my video, I'm gonna get some MT001s. Is there any other applications that I didn't cover here? Let me know in the comments below. I hope you guys found this useful. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, hope to see you folks on the trails. Cheers, guys. Cheers.